Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Marilyn Shannon, and I'm the Executive Director for PRISM, the People's Recovery Initiative for Solutions and More. And we welcome you to our kickoff for Health and Hope. We're so delighted to have you here and to come with us on this journey. Tomorrow we have a full day of presentations, but tonight is going to be amazing. And I have to thank everyone that has been a part of this. Leslie Dill from Opt Out, the program manager, has been amazing. Ricardo Torres from Alianza. Oh my God, we couldn't have done this without each other. So PRISM is about educating the public, all of us, each and every one of us, about substance use, addiction, opioids, and how we can stay healthy in North Carolina and across the country. And we've got all kinds of initiatives going on. We have an event coming up in the beginning of October, which is going to be a hybrid, so you can come to Raleigh or you can see it virtually. And that'll be a 2.5-day event where we will share all kinds of information about substance use prevention, grief management, family stories, lived experiences. We'll have it all. And we'll also have information about our youth and our teens, because they are so near and dear to us and we must take care of them. So we've got lots to share. I don't want to keep talking to you. I want to bring on everybody else. And with that, I'm going to introduce Leslie, one of my main partners here, and we're just so happy to be together. And she's been wonderful, marvelous, all of that. She's going to share from her heart. Here she comes, and I will see you in a little bit. Thank you.
Oh, thank you,
Whoa,
Marilyn.
Leslie.
So sweet. Okay.
Life.
Oh yeah, because Marilyn's down here and I'm up here. So is that good? Welcome everyone to the kickoff event for our Health and Hope event. It's a Friday evening and we were coming to you live from the Carolinas Care Partnership conference room. So my name is Leslie Dill. I use she, her pronouns, and I am the opt-out program manager for Carolinas Care Partnership. The mission at Carolinas Care Partnership is seeking justice through health and housing. And as part of that, we have a SAMHSA grant that focuses on opioid prevention and treatment access for 3 different target demographics. So that is LGBTQ youth, LGBTQ young adults, and then anyone living with HIV. So a lot of the work that we do is for increasing access, not just for those that we serve, but also for the organizations and the stakeholders that we work with. And that is how I got in touch with PRISM and Marilyn through a lot of our collaborative our collaborations. And this type of grant is called Partnerships for Success. And it's just that. By partnering with all of these organizations, that's how we are going to achieve our ultimate goal of reducing harm around opioid use disorder. I don't consider myself to be in long-term recovery, but about 2 decades ago, before I was going to college, I went through a period of substance use. It could have turned out very differently, and I recognize that. And so I come into this space with my own lived experience. And although that may be different from some of your own lived experience, all of those lived experiences come together and help us find the right path to be on to serve all the people that we serve. And I also want to thank all of our partners, of course, my executive director, Shannon Farah, for allowing us to be in this space and to use this space tonight for our live broadcast. Marilyn Shannon from PRISM, who I love very much, and Carson behind the scenes, and Ellen and Bob and Megan and Kayla. So thank you to everyone. Ricardo with Center for Prevention Services and also Alianza. And I don't think I'm forgetting anyone. So to start us off tonight, I wanted to give everyone a brief definition of what opioids are, because that's really what's bringing us all together tonight. So opioids are a class of drug that are used to reduce pain. One thing about opioids when they are prescribed, I think a lot of people sort of have the feeling that because something is prescribed, that equals that it's safe. And so understanding that just because something is prescribed doesn't make it quote unquote safe is a really important thing. Opioids include some prescription pain medications, but that also includes fentanyl and heroin. And we're seeing a lot of fentanyl right now when it comes to drug poisoning, and also heroin falls into the opioid category when we're thinking about illicit substances. All opioids have a similar effect on the brain. They reduce the intensity of pain, signals reaching the brain, and affect the brain areas controlling emotion and breathing. So it's a nervous system depressant. Depending on how much you take and how you take them, if your body has more opioids than it can handle, then it can lead to serious risks and also side effects. This is also something that you can create a tolerance for, and we're also seeing that as being an issue, especially when people have been released from incarceration. So on March 21st of 2022, the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services announced that an average of 9 North Carolinians died each day from drug poisoning in 2020. That was a 40% increase from the previous year. And although our data collection hasn't been as forthcoming because of COVID, we know that the increase in overdose has continued. And so as the new data comes in, we are anticipating the numbers to be even higher than that. The stark increase during 2020 aligns with the increases experienced nationwide, with the nation exceeding 100,000 deaths. In North Carolina, the number of drug overdose deaths from illicit substances and or medications increased by nearly 1,000 deaths, from 2,352 in 2019 to 3,304 in 2020. Provisional surveillance data suggests these increases continued through 2021. Both overdose deaths and the increases disproportionately affect historically marginalized populations. And so that's important to recognize. That's one of the main reasons why we're coming together tonight, is to talk about marginalized populations and the effects on marginalized populations, including the Spanish-speaking community in Charlotte, in North Carolina, and around the country. Excellent. So please stick around if you are Spanish speaking, as we have a lot coming to you in Spanish. I myself do not speak Spanish and understand very little, but the people who are getting ready to speak understand it and speak it beautifully. I would like to introduce our next speaker. This is Councilwoman, I guess, Councilwoman Marjorie Molina, a Democrat, and she was elected to represent District 5 in 2022 in Charlotte. She is a North Carolina native and has lived in Charlotte for more than 18 years and has been a member of the East Charlotte community for 11 years. Molina holds a Master's of Science from UNC Charlotte, Belk College of Business in Management, and has earned comprehensive certificates from Central Piedmont Community College in Project Management and Data Analytics, as well as from Arizona State University in Business Analysis. She has served on the city's Equitable Development Commission, as well as the Economic Development Commission. Councilwoman Molina is fluent in Spanish and has a passion for diversity and the ethnic and cultural competencies. So without further ado, Congresswoman Molina, I give the floor to you.
Thank you so much. Hoy vengo de darle la bienvenida a las personas que están viendo esta programa en línea o en vivo de parte de la ciudad de Charlotte. Mi nombre es Marjorie Molina y yo soy la concejal de la ciudad de Charlotte. en el Distrito 5. Y para la gente que no habla en español, voy a decir esto otra vez para que me entiendan. My name is Marjorie Molina, and I serve on City Council, District 5. I came to welcome you to this wonderful event on behalf of the City of Charlotte. Así como la señora acaba de decir, yo tengo ya como 18 años viviendo en la ciudad de Charlotte y yo hablo en español así como una persona. Yo soy nacido acá, pero yo sí hablo en español y inglés igual en los dos idiomas. Entonces, por eso estoy aquí. Yo no tengo la experiencia en una de las cosas de lo que están hablando, pero yo sí he tenido gente en mi familia que han sufrido y han pasado por estos temas en su vida. Entonces yo he visto esto de lado y yo sé que es una lucha y yo estoy así compartiendo el tiempo con el apoyo de, como te digo, la ciudad y las personas que están viviendo en Charlotte, para darle el apoyo de parte de nosotros y decir que nosotros estamos aquí y estamos en contacto, o sea, estamos disponibles para poder accesarnos. Entonces, por eso estoy aquí y con gusto estoy aquí compartiendo el tiempo con ustedes. I need to say that in English so she knows to come back. I'm just saying to people who are speaking English and Spanish that I do speak Spanish. I speak 2 languages. I speak both languages. I speak Spanish fluently as a second language. I'm born here in America, but I do speak Spanish fluently. And on behalf of the city, I do have people in my family who are close to me who have suffered from addiction. So I've seen it from the outside looking in. It's not a personal experience, but it's an experience where I can definitely say that I've seen it and experienced it from outside in. And, you know, I'm here happily to give support and to show support on behalf of the city that I represent. And thank you all for having me.
Thank you so much, Marjorie, and for showing up tonight. We needed to hear all of that. Next up is Ricardo Torres from Alianza, one of our partners here in Charlotte, and I must say he definitely is a brother from a different mother. I love him so much. He's been fabulous. Ricardo, I'm turning the mic over to you.
All right, let me hit my timer because you know Latinos can talk, and this one right here, oficial, yo hablo demasiado. So, buenas tardes, muchas gracias por esa, ¿cómo se dice? Invitación por parte de Marilyn. Marilyn, sí, te quiero mucho. Ella ha sido una bendición completa para nosotros, trabajando juntos para lo que tenemos que estar haciendo en la comunidad. No solamente donde ella está, pero aquí también en Charlotte. Ella trabaja más en el área de Raleigh, pero es una bendición trabajar juntos con personas que tienen pasión para cambiar y ayudar a la comunidad latina. So, con eso dicho, voy a parar en esa parte, pero me llamo Ricardo Torres, represento a 2 organizaciones. Una se llama el Centro de Servicios de Prevención, en español. En inglés es Center for Prevention Services, Alianza Latin Drug Free Coalition, Alianza Coalición Latinoamericana libre de drogas, una vida libre de drogas. Tenemos bastante tiempo en existencia. Empezamos en el año 2014 y por la persona que fundó esto, que se llama Alba Sánchez. Si van a estar con nosotros mañana, van a conocerla. Ella es buenísima persona que trabaja ahorita con la coalición latinoamericana. Ella fundó esto con un grupo de latinos que estaban preocupados por lo que estaba pasando en la comunidad, porque nuestros jóvenes se están perdiendo en el vicio de las drogas. Es muy fácil entender que las drogas están en todos lados, en su comunidad, en las escuelas, en las casas de amigos, es muy fácil de encontrar. Yo no tengo que decirte una mentira. Pregunta a sus hijos. Nuestra función como una coalición es educar los padres como también ambos los niños, separado, para que ellos entiendan que ellos pueden ser los líderes para educar lo demás. Esta coalición ha tenido bastante tiempo y por lo que estamos haciendo en los pasados años, y ya yo tuve la oportunidad de hacer como la silla y trabajar con parte de las otras personas que estaban aquí antes que yo estaba. Y honestamente aprendí mucho de ellos, pero ahora soy el manager. So, me metí en la posición de manejar los fondos, pero también para que esto crezca, para que sea algo más. No solamente como lo que estaba compartiendo antes es que el señor Kevin Thomas y yo, por años, tenemos 20 años sirviendo a la comunidad aquí en Charlotte y en prevención en la comunidad. Lo que podemos decir es eso no se acaba. Eso es solamente un comienzo. Hay bastante tiempo que tenemos que hacer, más trabajo que tenemos que hacer. Lo que puedo decir es que nosotros trabajamos con muchas personas. Trabajamos con Teen Health Connection, que es una organización que trabaja con adolescentes. Mayoría sí son personas que hablan inglés. Anuvia Prevention and Recovery Center. También tienen unas personas que hablan español también, que hace trabajo en labor en la comunidad y en las escuelas. Y un montón de otras agencias, la policía local, CMPD, trabajamos cerca con muchas otras organizaciones. Somos alguien establecido, pero mucha gente no conoce nosotros porque estamos en las líneas fronteras de todas las áreas donde los padres a veces no saben que estamos. Para promover tiene que tener mucho dinero, pero en este caso lo hagamos con mucho corazón, trabajando junto con PRISM y otras personas. Y me alegro que estamos haciendo esta por la primera vez. Esperemos que esto no sea la última vez. Y por el momento voy a cambiar en inglés para que toda la gente que habla inglés entienda lo que estoy hablando. So briefly, what I just said in Spanish, and I probably rathered my tongue a little bit there. The Alianza Latin Drug Free Coalition has been in existence since 2014. I got involved in the year 2016, being chair and vice chair, and then eventually now being the manager of the organization, working closely with it. Center for Prevention Services is the physical agent for Alianza Latin Drug Free Coalition. We have been around for a while, and we plan to be here longer than 10 years than most coalitions exist. So I'm very fortunate to be a part working with these great people, Marilyn and other folks, Leslie, Maria, Kevin Thomas, Edman. There's a bunch of people I can give a shout out, but definitely got to give praise to my wife and my children. It feels like I'm delivering a speech. Sorry. But what I can say is this, before I announce our next speaker, Alianza, we're going to be at the Sugar Creek Park tomorrow, and I'll give you more information about that near the end. But our function is to work delivering information and great things for kids as well at tomorrow's event. And this will hopefully not be the last. This will be just the beginning. We, like I said, at Center for Prevention Services and Alianza we're about prevention. That's all we do. We believe that there's a need in our community for mental health prevention, and also substance use, because many people are dying. Our kids are dying, adults are dying every day. And the more we ignore it, the bigger the problem will be, because it'll be more readily available. It's not a doom or gloom, it's the reality. It might not be everyone's reality, but it is the reality. We need to realize that we need to start talking to our kids. We need to start talking to parents to educate them about opioids and other substances, not just that one. But anyway, with that being said, I want to take a couple minutes to introduce the next speaker. I have a chance to talk later some other time, but thank you, Marilyn, for working closely with this, and the crew of PRISM, if I didn't say that already. I'd like to introduce Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion for the Charlotte Regional Visitors Authority, and not to mention Pamoja. Am I saying it right, Kevin?
Yes.
Promoja is his company that works directly with that as well, with diversity, equity, and inclusion. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome my best friend from another mother, but we've been around and known each other for so long that, like I said, I call him. And take it away, buddy.
Thank you, Ricky, and welcome everybody. Unfortunately, while I was born and raised in Miami, I do not speak Spanish, so I do apologize that tonight. My name is Kevin Thomas. I'm the Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion for the Charlotte Regional Business Authority. Also, the founder of Promoja EDI, Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion, which is a consulting company that helps organizations build inclusive programs and platforms. As Ricky stated, we go back almost 20 years now in the field of working prevention and substance abuse. And he asked me a couple of months ago to come on live tonight. And I'm an author and poet. And so he wanted me to come on and do some poetry and storytelling tonight around both of these important topics, substance abuse and as well as equity, diversity, and inclusion. And so it's an honor for me to do that tonight. And I'm gonna try in a brief time to kind of bridge both of those together. I am, whenever I do presentations or trainings, they call me the poet or the storyteller. Because every training or presentation I give, I have some poem or story to go with whatever I'm relating, whatever message I'm speaking on at that time. And so tonight, briefly, I want to speak to you about the importance of diversity, equity, and inclusion. But we do it from the lens of substance abuse and my lived experience around that. And the one thing about substance abuse, it doesn't care about race or gender. It doesn't care about, how much money you have, or how much money you don't have. It doesn't care about what religion you serve. It's blind when it comes to all those things. And substance abuse impacts everyone in different ways. And tonight, briefly, I talk about some of the indirect consequences of substance abuse and do that from the lens of my lived experience. And so I want to kind of speak to you about, how substance abuse affects family, how it affects the four important things in your life: family, friends, school, our jobs, and money, right? Something that we all need to take care of ourselves. And these things don't take 20 or 30 or 40 years for this stuff to happen to a person. It happens immediately, even indirectly. You don't even have to use the drug for it to affect you. And so what do I mean by that? Well, here's one of the first poem for tonight. It's called Why Me? What did I do to deserve this? I was but a child, and already my life, it was fixed. Fixed to bear pain, fixed to welcome struggle, and fixed to wear pity. Like any child, I wanted to play, but that pain, that struggle, that pity, it became my reality. You see the clothes on my back? That was all I had to wear. I was an 8-year-old child with no shoes on my feet, bare. That cold, it was making love to my body, and I had not a sheet. So I curled myself up on my floor many nights, and I cried, I cried, and I cried myself to sleep. I had an alcoholic mother. She was hardly ever there. A father who beat on her. He left us. Why didn't he care? What happened to all the water and the electricity? Where was all the food? Why did I stay hungry? You see, I was but a child. How could that be? Bearing that pain, welcoming that struggle, and wearing that pity. I got down on my knees and I cried and I cried. I cried into those nights. Why me? Now, at 8 years old, obviously I wasn't using drugs. I wasn't smoking. I wasn't drinking, doing those types of things. But the reality was, because substance abuse was brought into my family, even at an early age, I was faced with the difficulties that substance abuse had bestowed upon us. Loss of basic needs such as electricity and clothes and water. That was a constant fight in the struggle when I was growing up in Miami, Florida. And those things happened because of the things that my parents had got themselves into when we was younger. And as we traveled down that road, obviously I had some struggles in school. And there was moments when I would wake up in the middle of the night and I'd be hungry. There was times when I wake up and listen to my parents fighting in their room. And I would run to the room, me and my brothers and my sister, and knock on his door and bang and try to stop them from doing it. Now the morning comes, like anybody else, Kevin is hungry. I want something to eat. But the food I have in my refrigerator is spoiled, which is probably why they were fighting on each other from the first place. And so I want you to picture me now in 3rd or 4th grade experiencing these situations. My stomach is empty. I have no lights at home. I have dirty, probably wrinkled clothes on my body due to the inability to wash them or iron them without electricity. And I'm in school and the teacher asked me a question. Kevin, tell us when Christopher Columbus came to America. Do I really care at that point? And so because of that, I wouldn't answer those basic questions. I never said I didn't know when Christopher Columbus came to America. I said I didn't care. I didn't want to answer the question. If you gave me a piece of pizza, I would have told you 1492. I knew exactly when he came to America. At that point, at that age, it wasn't the most important thing. And so that led me into trouble and get into a lot of fights when I was younger. But let me tell you about the importance of how this led into, diversity and inclusion. And it's probably my first, journey down that road, probably what started me on this path to doing this type of work today. I recall about 12 years old, and I was in middle school at the time, and I was in the art school, this art school. And at one of those days, I recall my teacher at that moment, Miss Catherine, who was having a conversation with another teacher. And she was speaking about me, and she had no idea I was in the next door classroom. I had went back to get my box of colored pencils and things that I needed for my art class that I left and got a pass to go back. And she had no idea I was in the other room getting my stuff, and I overheard her speaking about me. And she was talking about some of the concessions the schools was making for me. And she said that she doesn't understand why they're making these decisions and try to help me out. In her exact words, in by language, but she said that little nigger would never make it. And that day, I went home and upset, and I was kind of crying. And I remember this day vividly. And my grandfather at the time saw me crying and came and talked to me. And my grandfather said, "Why are you upset?" And I told him that I was sick and tired of being poor, sick and tired of going through what I was going through. And he looked at me and he said, "You think you're poor?" And I said, "Yes, both we are poor." And he looked at me and said, "Kevin, you have your own bathroom." I said, "What am I supposed to do with that? It's 8 people in the house in one bathroom. We are poor." And both said he used the outhouse. So at that time, he told me that as a Black man, I was going to have to work extra hard just to be average. And so how much harder am I willing to work and to be the best? So that leads me down this journey into this next poem about who are you and who am I? And if you ask me who am I would tell you, take a look and you shall see. I am more than just a name in the skin that covers me. I am proud that's who I am, the strength of hope from the past of life. I am not just a man, not just a person. I am a human sacrifice. I am the strength of souls of old, the future from the past. I am that constant shining light, the heart that always lasts. Now, somebody called me an educated Black man, but I tell them no, that is not from any book. It is the knowledge from the life I live. It's the wisdom in my looks. You see, my eyes, they hold my past, but my words, they tell the story. The enduring of my ancestors' pains, yet the pride inside their glory. So if you ask me who am I would tell you, take a look and you shall see. I am the life of my ancestors' dreams that burns deep inside of me. Now, as we travel down this road, as you can see, that poem is completely different from the last poem that talked about all the struggles that I faced. My grandfather's words was motivating to me. He has always been an inspiration. If I can leave you a message, it's always to find somebody that you can rely on and listen to their stories and give you the advice that you want, that you need, that you trust. Those individuals like your grandparents, an auntie, a coach, a friend, a teacher, somebody that we can all lean on. There's always somebody out there that can help us through our struggles and through our journeys, excuse me. As I move forward, I will say this: both of my parents end up becoming later on in my life great parents. I love my mother very much to this day. We talk every day on the phone. She is no longer using, and my father, who passed away this summer, we made up when I was about 25 years old, and developed a relationship from that point on. All of that, though, is a direct correlation to my lived experience growing up. And the importance of diversity, equity, and inclusion is to make sure people, little kids who grew up like I did, it's for people who live that type of lifestyle, don't get left out. And this is why these programs, these prevention programs that Ricardo and so many other folks on this call provides to the community is so important, because it provides access to those marginalized communities who otherwise may not have access to those, right? And they're asking for help. They're looking for help, and they need that type of help. And I wish I would have had some of these prevention programs when I was in school. I think our prevention program was Just Say No, their program, and that didn't work. And so to see these prevention programs take hold and become so important today is very important. And if I can leave you with the final poem tonight, it would be this. And it's entitled When My Mind Started to Worry. So it's a final journey from why me to who am I, understanding who I am as a man, and now kind of completing this journey into where I'm at today. And so here's the last poem that I will read to you tonight. When my mind started to worry, and I tried to remain strong, I took a look at my life and I wondered, was there something that I did wrong? Standing in a room, my feet cold and bare, a life of empty promises, when it seemed that no one cared. Some said the plan that I set to graduate was a plan that would surely fail, while others said my life would end in shackles down a road that led to jail. Yes, there was a struggle in my life, a struggle no child should have endured, but that struggle became my motivation, and that motivation had found a cure. The cure did not come from drugs, nor violence, or gangs, or crime. The cure for that struggle was forever broken through the intelligence of my mind. You see, I am like a great fish that swims in one motion, deeper, deeper, deeper into this life that we call an ocean. I don't know what's ahead of me, but I do know what I left behind. For years, I've been swimming this ocean we call life, and happiness I seem to can't find. I take a look at the choices I've made, and I know that some were wrong. And then I take a look at the journey that I must take, and sometimes it's a struggle just to hold on. So when my mind starts to worry and I try to remain strong, I tell myself, this fish, I will not float to the top. No, this ocean, I will swim strong. The currents, they may have pulled me, but your waves, they will not engulf me, because this ocean, I chose to swim strong. Your sand, it may have slowed me, but your rocks, they will not trap me, because this ocean, I chose to swim strong. Your sharks, they may have bitten me, but your whales, they did not swallow me, because this ocean, I chose to swim strong. I don't know what's ahead of me, but I do know what I left behind. So I will swim and keep on swimming, and I promise you, this happiness I will find. You are the ocean that my ancestors swam, and like you, I too shall swim stronger. Thank you guys tonight. Have a great evening.
Thank you, Kevin. That was awesome. Thank you. One thing I didn't tell you about Kevin, well, let me say this in Spanish for those. Él es un poeta. Un poeta is a poet. Alguien que no tiene que hablar en el español, pero en su corazón, en las palabras que él usa, puedes ver de dónde viene. Y él cree en ayudar las comunidades que siempre la gente siempre se olvida. Son las comunidades de color, afroamericanos, latinos y otros. Muchas gracias, Kevin, por su tiempo, por sus palabras. Y solamente quería decir eso. I mean, I can tell you a bunch of stories about Kevin and I, but this is not the Ricardo and Kevin show. That was back in the day. But anyway, thank you, Kevin, for that. And I'll give it to Marilyn.
Thank you, Kevin, and thank you, Ricardo. And Kevin, that was beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing your heart and soul with us. We all appreciate it. And as you can tell, I'm not Spanish. I don't speak much Spanish, but I am from New York, so I do understand a few words here and there, but I will spare you that. Before I introduce our next guest, I want to thank our sponsors, Healthy Blue, Blue Cross Blue Shield, and Alliance Health. So I want to thank them all very much for supporting us and being here with us throughout what we're doing. So part of what PRISM does is we're connectors. We connect people to information, information to people, people to people, people to resources, resources to people, agencies to agencies, government people to people. We just want to connect the world so that we all can get along, understand each other, do something about this emergency, this crisis, this addiction, substance use, opioid, fentanyl disaster. And we know that we can do this by bringing all of us together and working together, because that's how it's going to happen. So back, I guess it was the end of August, myself, Ellen, and Carson, part of our PRISM team, went to the International Overdose Awareness Day in Raleigh. And there was a woman there from Kissimmee, Florida, who had come to Raleigh to learn, to understand, to find out what she could do in Florida, because she unfortunately lost her daughter. This woman is all about hope. She's all about love, and she's all about doing the work that's necessary. So let me introduce Maria Esther to you tonight. Maria, thank you so much for being here. I'm delighted. You're a very special lady, and we're glad you're here. Thank you.
Muchas gracias, Marilyn. Muchas gracias, Marilyn. Soy la madre, perdí a una hija en esta gran pandemia. Yo quiero darle las gracias a todos y cada uno de ustedes, ¿verdad? Esta noche, por haberme dado la oportunidad de poder hablar de una pandemia que está acabando con nuestros jóvenes. La Biblia dice que cada vez que uno ora, un hombre o una mujer aparece. Y yo tengo que darle las gracias a Marilyn. Marilyn, thank you very much. The Bible says every time when we pray, God sends in a man or in a woman. They send them to me in a woman to connect to me with the right people to do what I have to do. Yo quiero esta noche poder tener la oportunidad de decirles que fui una madre que perdió una hija hace 2 años, y aquí en Kissimmee estoy como metida entre las personas de Raleigh, de Charlotte, North Carolina, pero el punto es que Dios me puso aquí esta noche con estas personas para poder conectar, porque tengo la necesidad urgente de saber cómo poder llevar este mensaje de esperanza a miles y miles de personas. Y yo quiero decirles que aquí en Kissimmee no he encontrado ese apoyo. Yo quiero decirles como madre que estuve mucho miedo cuando traté de buscar información o ayuda y no la encontraba. Mire, la sensación es tremendamente de impotencia, de tristeza. No encontraba las respuestas y me cerraban las puertas. Entonces, Alicia, eso fue antes, ella muere, su nombre era Alicia, y yo empiezo a entrar a este mundo y a empezar a conocer la cantidad de fatalidades por medio de la sobredosis de opioides aquí en Kissimmee. Miren, la cantidad no me la han podido decir. Yo he tratado de buscar la información y no tengo una opinión fidedigna, pero conozco muchas personas que han perdido un familiar. O sea que es bastante dramática la situación. El punto es que buscando información encuentro este evento en Raleigh y me monto en un avión sin conocer a nadie. A llegar a un aeropuerto en donde yo no sabía, agarré un Uber, llegué a un hotel Y después me fui a este sitio y encontré muchas respuestas que estuve buscando por mucho tiempo. No era aquí en Kissimmee, pero me di cuenta que hay un montón de gente trabajando para cambiar una realidad. Esta es una realidad que nosotros tenemos que cambiar y sí tenemos una esperanza. Oh, pero usted perdió a su hija. Sí, yo perdí a mi hija, pero podemos salvar muchos más. Aparte de que mi esperanza va mucho más allá que esto. Yo soy una firme creyente en la resurrección y sé que hay algo mejor que esto. Pero en este momento estamos acá. Y cuando hombres y mujeres se unen, otros hombres y mujeres vienen en la ayuda. Y yo quiero esta noche tomar la oportunidad para pedirles a todos, a los que no conocía antes, ni a Ricardo, ni a Kevin, ni a Marjorie, ni a las personas que todavía no han podido hablar, ¿verdad? Que tenemos una gran oportunidad de hacer algo diferente en poder. En poder tenemos que creérnoslo. Tenemos que creer, porque usted sabe lo que he encontrado. He encontrado mucha gente que no tiene ningún tipo de esperanza, ni inclusive para su familia, porque se han dado por vencidos. He encontrado que la gente se ha dado por vencido. Y tú sabes por qué he encontrado y por qué me he dado cuenta que esa es la respuesta. Porque cuando he tocado puertas, porque cuando he hablado de cuál es mi propósito, la gente no se interesa. Pero hay gente como ustedes y yo voy a aprender a tocar las puertas correctas, porque no creo, como me dijo Marilyn, no creo que perdiste tu tiempo. Creo que aprendiste en el camino. Creo que has aprendido mucho. Y yo quiero, ¿verdad?, no desaprovechar esta oportunidad, señores, para traer una esperanza. Vamos en el camino correcto. Estamos en the right track. Aquí hay gente que tiene mucho más experiencia que yo, de los cuales puedo aprender muchas cosas. Yo traté por mi cuenta, yo creé este folder de Proyecto Esperanza. Esta es mi hija Alicia. Yo traté, ¿verdad?, por mis propios medios de crear una ayuda, ¿verdad? Pero me di cuenta que necesitaba otro empuje más, que es la del conocimiento. ¿A dónde me tengo que dirigir? ¿A dónde me tengo que dirigir? Mire, esta lucha, yo le quiero hablar a mi comunidad latina. Esta lucha, usted no está solo. Yo sé que usted se ha sentido sin esperanza, sin respuestas, sin tener a dónde ir, impotente. Yo le quiero decir que usted no está solo en su angustia, en su dolor, en sus lágrimas. Hay un grupo de gente que quiere tocar su corazón y su puerta. Queremos poder recolectar. Lo que dijo Marilyn es muy cierto. Yo necesito conectar con los recursos. Yo necesito conectar con los grupos. Yo necesito conectar con la gente. Yo necesito conectar los que están sufriendo con los que ayudan. Y Proyecto Esperanza está aquí para traer precisamente la información necesaria y también, ¿por qué no?, un abrazo, un hombro para la gente que lo está necesitando. Mire, lo que viví con Alicia no se lo deseo a nadie. Yo no le deseo eso a nadie, porque ver partir a mi hija de esa manera para mí fue totalmente devastador, pero solamente la esperanza. De esto se trata. De esto se trata. De no quedarme en una esquina llorando, sino que levantarme a poder ayudar a otros y mantenerme ocupada en esto. Yo quiero que sepan que aquí en Kissimmee tenemos la necesidad urgente, porque la gente no sabe cómo pedir la ayuda. Tenemos la necesidad urgente de que este problema se haga visible. Necesitamos que este problema se haga visible. Y yo quiero, ¿verdad?, que aquí en Central Florida, ¿verdad?, tengan una mano amiga en Proyecto Esperanza. Yo estoy dispuesta a aprender, yo estoy dispuesta a poder aplicar la experiencia de todos ustedes. Gente maravillosa que toma de su tiempo, de su vida, lo más valioso que tenemos, que es nuestro tiempo, para poder ayudar a otros. Eso no tiene precio. I would like, to take this opportunity to talking to everyone they want to listen. We need working together. We need help. We need listen. If we working together and we go to the straight point, believe me, something is gonna be happening. I know that. Sometimes my daughter don't survive, but I I'm recovering from the alcoholism for more than 20 years. I know service. I know we can do it. I know we can help. So, no pude ayudar a mi hija. La ayudé. Hablamos de este asunto todo hasta el día, hasta horas antes. Al lado mío ella estaba y nunca había tenido un episodio de sobredosis en mi casa. Y yo le dije a ella, porque cuando no trabajaba venía a mi casa a dormir conmigo, y yo le puse mi mano en su cabeza y le dije, Dios te bendiga, mija. Y ella me dijo, I love you. Yo le dije, I love you too. Esas fueron las últimas palabras que hablé con ella. Había paz en mi corazón porque siempre hablé del problema y de la situación a calzón quitado. Esto es lo que va a pasar si no haces algo. Y fueron las consecuencias de no tomar, ¿verdad? Las decisiones que tuvo que haber tomado. Yo creo en la palabra dice que el pecado, el precio del pecado es la muerte. Por lo tanto, el que ha muerto queda suelto de su pecado. Yo quiero aferrarme a esa palabra y quiero enseñarle también a muchas madres que tengan una esperanza. Jesucristo recibió, Jesucristo dice, Él levantó ese hijo de la viuda de Naín como un ejemplo esperanzador para todas las madres y para todos los padres que habemos perdido a nuestros hijos. No nos vamos a dar por vencidos. Hay mucha gente que hay que educar y hay mucha gente que tiene que creer y que también tiene que creer que los programas funcionan, que la gente está trabajando. Así que yo quiero, ¿verdad? En esta hora decirles que Proyecto Esperanza llega para educar a la gente, para devolver la esperanza y para utilizar todas las herramientas que podamos tener para poder seguir adelante. Y créame, una alma, un ser humano que nosotros salvemos es una victoria tremenda y tenemos que verlo de esa manera. Así que yo les agradezco por su tiempo y vamos a seguir hacia adelante. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you.
Maria, you are such an inspiration. I mean, I'm almost in tears, and I was just listening between the lines in the Spanish, and it was just beautiful. So thank you so much for your passion and your heart, and we love you, and this is the beginning of our relationship, I know. And for all of you out there that are listening to us on YouTube, thank you so much for being here. This is recorded, so you will have an opportunity certainly to share this with your friends. Please do, because all of our speakers are just sharing such words of wisdom that the world needs to hear. So now getting on with our next speaker. When we started planning for this evening, I was really hoping I could find someone from the Hispanic Latinx community that was an artist, that can talk about being creative and sharing feelings through art, because it's so healing and the message is so beautiful. And I found that perfect woman, and she said yes. And so Tina, I want to introduce you. Thank you so much for being here and for sharing, because this is going to be another one of those moments. So thank you so much for being here. Tina, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thanks, Marilyn, for having me, and I'm happy to be here. I'm an artist. Crecí en Colombia. Hablo inglés y español, completamente bilingüe. Y estoy aquí a sus órdenes. My art is primarily to bring awareness. Right now I'm focused on bringing awareness to endangered animals. I strive to spark change and, try to bring hope through my color. Mis colores vienen de mi cultura, vienen de cómo crecí. Viví en Puerto Rico, viví en Colombia, y a los 18 años me vine a pasar a Miami, y de Miami vine para acá. Soy casada con colombiano, mi vida es muy hispánica, mis valores son hispánicos, y de verdad que tengo mucha compasión por el tema. No tengo historial en el tema, pero sí estoy bastante atenta a lo que está pasando. Como digo, my themes in my work are to bring awareness Y ahora que estoy escuchando, que te escuché a ti hablar sobre el tema, estoy, pensando un poco y puede que haya un proyecto en un futuro donde me interese traer awareness al tema de sobredosis, el alcoholismo, el opioid overdose. Es algo que creo que sería muy interesante porque el arte, con mi experiencia, lo sé que da resultados. Traer un tema tan importante como este puede crear cambio. Entonces, es algo que les ofrezco para que vayan pensando, pero tal vez sería una oportunidad de un proyecto interesante para traer el tema, porque hay mucha gente que no está al tanto del tema y creo que es importante. So I'm very interested in possibly doing a project with this theme of the opioid overdose, just because I know through the power of art, you can make change. I am aware of this because I have experience with it. I've been an artist for 30 years. I know what art does. I mean, even in the work I do now, which you see in the background, I have some animal arts. This is about the monarch butterfly, how they're disappearing. They're falling apart because of weather, the climate change. There's no food for them. And over to the side here, it's a piece on turtles and how turtles are disappearing because of all the plastics in the ocean. They're ingesting stuff that is, constantly drowning them. So I'm trying to bring awareness of animals. But, however, I also bring awareness to other subjects. That's why I want you to think about this one, because I just last did a piece about Uvalde, those horrendous shootings of the little kids, which touched us all. And I did a whole painting on how we each deal with pain. Everybody deals with it differently. So I put out to my social media, sort of like some questions. How do you deal with pain? Do you go somewhere by yourself? Do you look for friends for help? Do you talk to God? Where do you go when you have pain? And so I don't have the piece here because it just went to a show, but it is a piece about pain, but it's also a piece about hope. All my work is about hope. De verdad creo que hay mucha esperanza en cambio. Y esa fuerza viene de todas partes. El arte, la música, la poesía, la literatura, de todas las avenidas viene el cambio. So I'm here to let you know that there are a lot of artists. I'm not the only one. I know plenty of artists who are interested in the subject of hope, and hope in all subjects. So, and it's a very powerful medium. The poetry that I was listening to earlier, I forget his name, was very powerful, and his words spoke deeply. And I think through the medium of arts, those of you who have this lived experience, tap into us artists, because I think we can help you. Si ustedes han vivido unas experiencias en el tema de sobredosis, acudan a los artistas, los poetas, la música, porque eso les ayuda a promover el mensaje de cambio, el mensaje de ayuda. Muchas cosas pueden venir de los artistas, de todas las artes. So it's something that can give you hope, le puede dar esperanza a cambio. Lo importante es el cambio, no hablar y hablar y hablar. La importancia es acciones. Y si puedes generar acciones, entonces hay un cambio que de verdad cambia y transforma las situaciones. So the idea is to transform and change, not just talk and talk and talk. So I really, I think what is happening here is important, because it's actually, there's so many subjects within this subject, right? Sub-subjects that are really important to tackle. So, that's really all I have to say. I just want to say, tap into the artists. Like I said, I just started turning my wheels when I started hearing this. This is a little bit new to me, this particular subject. Because again, I've been focused on endangered animals. He estado enfocada en los animales que están extinguiendo, en extinción por culpa nuestra, pero también veo que esto puede ser un proyecto para enfocar, para promover, no para promover, para traer awareness al problema este que no es cíclico, sino que es permanente hasta que haya cambio. So, no tengo más que decir, la verdad. Si tienen preguntas, aquí estoy. Y me encuentran en Instagram si quieren conectarse conmigo por DM. Es Tina _Albert, Tina's con S al final, _art _beat, BEAT, Tina's Art Beat. Ahí me pueden mandar un mensaje si quieren conectar y podemos mirar a ver si armamos un proyecto porque como digo, es una herramienta interesante para realmente promover cambio, traer cambio permanente. Gracias.
Tina, tengo una pregunta.
Sí.
¿Cuándo empezaste a hacer su arte? ¿A qué edad?
Yo, bueno, en Colombia mi mamá es artista y en Colombia vivíamos en una finca y ella sacaba sus lienzos, su plein air, y pintaba, y salía con su lienzo en blanco y sus óleos. Y a las 3 horas yo volvía y veía el lienzo, que era una pintura, y yo no entendía, era muy chiquita, no entendía cómo estos grupitos de colores se volvieron una pintura. En ese momento mi mamá me enseñó, me dio mi primer lienzo, empezamos a pintar y poco a poco pues seguí dibujando, pero no fue en serio hasta que vine de Colombia a Estados Unidos y hice un curso de fotografía y luego por cosas de experiencia tuve un trabajo que estuvo ligado con un músico latino. Hice los videos con ellos y me inspiré mucho en el mundo artístico. Y por ahí empezó mi interés bien en serio a dedicarme a las artes. Me volví profesora de enseñar arte por 15 años en Miami y me fue súper bien. Y a la par de eso, mi carrera profesional de arte, porque yo exhibí mucho en galerías, exhibí en Colombia, exhibí en España, mantuve una carrera de arte profesional. Y ya en el 2007 vinimos aquí a North Carolina y decidí ser artista por tiempo completo. Y estoy bastante involucrada en el grupo de Charlotte de artistas, que es bastante activo. Y en particular es activo en hacer cambio. Hay muchos proyectos que usan el arte para hacer cambio de varios temas. Por eso este tema me está llamando la atención, porque no veo muchos artistas haciéndolo. Entonces es algo que me gustaría indagar un poco más. Y desde ese entonces tuve una galería con otros artistas por un tiempo. Y bueno, hoy en día tengo un montón de proyectos. Estoy metida mucho ahora en el metaverso, en lo que es los NFTs, que es arte digital en el espacio metaverso, que es otro planeta. No me meto en eso porque es complicado, pero estoy en esas también. Entonces, yo trabajo tiempo completo. Eso es lo que... Sí.
Ok, bello. Es siempre bueno conocer dónde gente viene, buscan su inspiración para hacer su carrera. Siempre es bueno escuchar de cómo las personas encontraron su camino.
Sí, bueno, y tú sabes, como artista, he pasado por varios temas porque pues el mundo va cambiando y uno va cambiando. Yo empecé con tema figurativo, he evolucionado y ahora estoy en el tema de animales en extensión, simplemente porque el tema de climate crisis es enorme y es lo que me está preocupando mucho, me tiene la mente siempre preocupada por los animales que estamos perdiendo, porque en estos momentos estamos perdiendo animales constantemente, que no van a volver, que no hay más, por culpa nuestra, que no tenemos cuidado, porque podríamos cambiar algunas cosas y no pasaría esto. Pero como ese tema, hay muchos temas, por ejemplo, de esta noche, ¿verdad? Si se hacen algunos cambios, puede haber un cambio grandísimo al otro lado. So, en cualquier tema, yo creo mucho en la esperanza por eso, pero no es fácil. Hay que ser consistentes, hay que tener un mensaje claro y directo y eficaz. Yo creo mucho en eso, pero en este momento mi enfoque son animales. Tengo una colección más o menos como de unos 35 animales, llevo como 2 años en el tema. Pero a la par empecé el trabajo figurativo otra vez, como les dije, trabajé una imagen de Uvalde, hice otra de la imagen con figuras de Ucrania, y la pieza no es sobre la guerra y la tristeza, es sobre la fuerza de la gente de Ucrania para seguir adelante, echado para adelante, como dicen en Colombia. Una cultura increíble, y esa es la inspiración que a mí me da, esa es la esperanza que a mí me da, que la humanidad no sea por vencida. Y esa pieza tampoco la tengo, ya está en manos de un coleccionista, pero son trabajos de figura. Y que yo más o menos tengo una visión ahora de, si hacemos un proyecto con este tema, sería un trabajo que involucra la figura, porque son los humanos los que estamos perjudicados sobre el tema de la sobredosis, ¿no? Es algo que ofrezco a los que les interesen y podemos dialogar a ver qué se podría hacer.
Ok. Y Germán tiene una pregunta.
Sí.
Hi, everyone. My name is Germán Barrigan. I'm Community Relations Representative at Healthy Blue. Healthy Blue is, Mary was asking me on the chat if I want to say a few words, and I said no, but now I changed my mind. So, yeah, because I think it's a very, very interesting event, very, very interesting initiative led by Alianza, by PRISM, by Hope and Health. And just listen to Tina, came to my mind these healing initiatives that are on the table so far. I'm Colombian too. I came to Charlotte on 2016, also from Miami. Yeah, I would say that we should have a serious conversation about the theme, about the initiative. Obviously, just planning for 2023. But it's, you, Ricardo, and the Alianza leaders probably could draft a kind of program or a schedule how to get involved with these kids, because I know that the most of your population are the young people, no? Right, youth. So it would be very interesting to do so, and just trying to connect with this alternative through the art, through painting, through music. Probably Tina knows Ana Lucia Divins.
Sure do. Absolutely, she's fabulous.
Yeah, she's doing this initiative. Her program is named Blue, yeah. Something like that. Is the music. So what about if we can mix all together and mix it all in the same program, in the same initiative? And I don't take my word. I cannot promise, and I won't promise anything, but it could be a good idea if probably Healthy Blue, this is the Medicaid plan from Rochelle, can get on board as well. Funding, but it's going to be under the the upcoming year budget, 2023. So yeah, Ricardo, if you want to lead the series of meetings to draft in these initiatives and go through Alianza, and all the partners that want to be into the project. So I think it would be a good idea. So thank you. That's pretty much it. And Marilyn, I'm sorry. I said I told you I want to say anything, but I took the mic and I cannot be quiet. Thank you.
No. Thank you, Herman.
All right. Thanks.
You go ahead.
Well, I am so happy you didn't listen to me. And then you listened to me. So that was wonderful. Thank you so much for coming in here and sharing with everyone, because it's, you know, it's up to date information that we all need to be aware of. And to know that you support this makes it even better. So thank you so much for coming in. We appreciate it. So Ricardo, you ready?
For
There
the
you
finale
go.
or for something else? All right. Well, what I wanted to do right quick, what's his name? Carson, can you do me a favor? Put me as host. I want to show something right quick. Well, since I was talking earlier, so como estaba hablando antes, yo trabajo por una organización que se llama el Centro de Servicios de Prevención, que es un non-profit. Y tenemos como 50 años en existencia. We've been around for 50 years. That means prevention has happened in not only Mecklenburg County, but 6 other counties in North Carolina. So we're blessed. Estamos muy bendecidos que estamos haciendo mucho trabajo en diferentes áreas, pero lo que no es bueno es que no estamos sirviendo muchos latinos y solamente nosotros somos la única organización. Okay, yeah, that works. So I wanted to quería enseñar el website, y también, siendo que este tema tiene que ver con opioids, I just wanted to show you guys some statistics of local data that might wake you up or make you realize if it's not a problem, it will be. And we don't want that. ¿Qué es prevención? Prevenir las cosas malas, ¿no? Prevention is possible. It just requires work, money, time, and efforts, and people working together. Okay, tenemos que trabajar juntos para hacer esto posible. Intervención es cuando alguien está consumiendo, empezando. Eso es otra área. Nosotros no nos enfocamos en eso. Y después es tratamiento, which is treatment, which is timely, costly, and not to mention it works, but it requires a lot of work. That's all I can say. But okay, so I have permission to show. I wanted to take the opportunity to show 2 things. One, I don't know. Nope, I didn't do it right. Pardon me. Okay, this here, esto es algo que hacemos cada 2 años, que se llama el Youth Drug Survey. Y la razón que quería hablar de esto, muy poco, no mucho tiempo, es que nosotros tenemos que tener en cuenta las estadísticas de lo que están diciendo los jóvenes. This data is from 2020. Okay, we did this data in school year 19. Well, I'm throwing a blank here. It was the school year that was 2019-2022. El año de 2020, 2,000 estudiantes de CMS, de escuela middle school, primaria, secundaria, tomaron ¿cómo se dice? Encuesto. Y nos dijeron una información que me hace pensar. Si ves aquí, no está en español, pero lo puedo traducir. Y si ustedes pueden leer, si hay algo que te agarra, es que estas cosas que están puestas aquí tienen que preocuparnos, ¿ok? 23.1% have prescriptions, okay? But 6.5 have used prescriptions without a prescription. That means they have gotten the supply of some substance from someone else that was not prescribed to them. Es muy fácil ir a la casa de fulano y decir, hey, me duele la cabeza, ¿tienes algo? Y ella te da una pastilla y no sabes. Personas están tomando la medicina que no es para ellos y se están adictando de esa forma. Y ahorita más que nada tenemos que ser muy pendientes porque hay algo que se llama fentanyl. Fentanyl es una droga hecho por hombre, ¿ok? No es natural como, y no estoy diciendo que es natural, que es bueno, solamente estoy diciendo que está hecho, están poniendo muchos medicamentos. Y ahorita cuando una persona de la calle vende algo, como por ejemplo marihuana y otras drogas, están viendo que esa bolsita de marihuana que tomaste, compraste y estás pensando que vas a fumar marihuana, tiene no sé cuántos pedazos del polvito de fentanyl. Y los hospitales locales están recibiendo mucha gente con sobredosis, no solamente por usar opioids, pero gente echando fentanyl, que es una droga que es opioids, que se están encontrando en otros medicamentos. Yo tengo un montón de cuentos que puedo decir, pero no voy a para aburrirlo, pero también para decir esta información que ves aquí. 42% de los jóvenes usan prescripción medicamentos, had prescription pain medication. 20% of the youth use medications without prescriptions. So es muy fácil. Y muchas veces lo encuentran en los sitios más comunes en la casa, donde guardan los medicamentos y a veces no piensan que su hijo o hija pueden llegar ahí y buscar y vender eso o tomarlo. Puede ser expirado, pero no importa, la gente puede usarlo y venderlo. Y eso es parte de los problemas. Y lo que podemos ver con todos estos antidepresivos no son opioids, pero son gente para que tengan como depresión, es prescripciado por un psicólogo, un doctor, pero que está aquí, medicamentos de personas que tienen mucha actividad, hiperactividad, son medicamentos que también la gente está vendiendo a otros estudiantes. Son muy peligrosos. Los más peligrosos de todos son de lo que es pain medication, medicamentos de dolor. Estamos viendo aquí que el porcentaje de esto es used without RX. Aquí 20% de los jóvenes de la encuesta, que eran como te dije, 2,000 estudiantes, dijeron que lo usaron sin prescripción. Imagínate cuántos estudiantes más que no tomaron este impuesto que están usando. No podemos pensar que tus hijos son perfectos y nunca van a hacer nada mal. Con todo respeto, yo tengo 2 hijas, no son perfectos, en mis ojos son mi mundo, pero van a cometer errores. Y si como padre yo no le siento y le educo con amor, no gritarles, educarlos, eso va a ser un problema, ¿ok? Cuando la señora María, Esther, nos estabas hablando sobre el caso de ella, yo no puedo imaginar por nada cómo ella se siente cuando perdió su hija. Y ahorita, cómo se siente. Y cuando pasó. Yo sé que es una cosa horrible. Y yo pienso y doy gracias que ella puede dar el testimonio, porque eso les enseña que esto sí es un problema. Ella sí puede vivir en Florida, pero eso sí está pasando aquí en Charlotte también, en Raleigh, en los 100 condados de North Carolina. Tenemos que hacer más educación. Y puedo enseñar más de lo que es esto, pero voy a dejar que ustedes vean un poquito más, que esto en los middle and high schools, los porcentajes de uso. En el 2018, los porcentajes en el 2018 eran bajitos, pero si ves, están subiendo. Okay, they're going up. The numbers are going up. So what I'm trying to tell you with showing you this is that opioid use, prescription drug use is on the rise. Estás creciendo. Y mira, si quieren estos reportajes en inglés, en español, pueden ir a nuestra página de web. ¿Ok? No para promover nuestra organización, pero para obtener los datos. ¿Ok? Déjame ver si... siempre lo hago mal, perdón. I'll get this sharing button down eventually. Sorry, y'all. I want to share this last part. I don't want to make this the Ricardo show, but siendo que habla mucho, me gusta educar. Esto es lo que me encanta de la oportunidad de hacer esto. Ok. Si van aquí a la página de preventionservices.org, pueden buscar mucha información en inglés y en español. Somos la agencia aquí local que hace prevención, pero dame ver aquí donde dice Youth Drug Survey. Perdóname, ahí acá arriba. No. Here it is. Youth Drug Survey. Este año, en el otoño de 2022, vamos a empezar en CMS. Me gustaría dejar esta información también con la señora Molina, que estaba aquí unos cuantos minutos atrás. Pero lo que tenemos que ver con esto es pueden buscar los datos más recientes aquí. Y yo pienso que aquí, mira, inglés, español, de 2018 y del 2020. El nuevo que se va a hacer este año nos va a enseñar cómo la pandemia ha afectado y ha aumentado estos números. Yo honestamente te puedo decir, estoy asustado, porque yo no sé si esto va a subir, porque yo sé ahorita mismo el suicidio y las drogas de uso están subiendo, pero con este problema de la sobredosis y también de opioids, tenemos que hacer más. Y el reportaje te habla más sobre detalles de qué fue la encuesta, cuántas preguntas eran, qué dijo los estudiantes. Y me hace este reportaje, doy gracias que lo estamos haciendo. Por la gracia de Dios, de los fondos de las becas que nosotros buscamos por parte de Alianza para seguir haciéndolo aquí en Mecklenburg County. También lo hacemos en otros condados, pero eso no tiene que ver nada. Por ejemplo, Stanley no es los fondos de Alianza, son otros fondos. Pero cualquier cosa que es Charlotte-Mecklenburg es Alianza. Nosotros somos encargados de esa encuesta y vamos a estar trabajando mucho en esto. Pero anyway, esta información está en la página de nosotros y para que sepan Alianza un poquito más de quién somos. Tenemos mucha información de nuestra misión y de los jóvenes que trabajamos. Tenemos grupos de jóvenes y de los padres y la coalición profesional que nos reunimos cada tercer jueves del mes a las 11 de la mañana, virtual y a veces en persona. So we have a lot of things in our website that talk about our coalition and about what we're doing. So if you want more information about Alianza, what we're doing with the youth from many schools. Sorry, my Siri is wanting to say something in Spanish, I guess. So anyway, lo que pueden ver con la página de nosotros es mucha información de la historia de lo que hicimos y lo que estamos haciendo. Y doy gracias también que Germán está aquí porque estamos trabajando con él para trabajar juntos en diferentes iniciativas. Y antes que yo termine con esto, quería más que nada enseñarle, tenemos programas como Familia Adelante, es un programa familiar. Educamos los padres separados y los niños en otro. Un programa hecho por latinos para latinos. Y queremos añadir esto más grande, amplificarlo. No solamente en Mecklenburg, pero en otras áreas. María, yo digo, si ustedes tienen fondos o quieren ser más en Florida, busca Familia Adelante y ahí el Dr. Cervantes que hizo el programa puede ayudarle a ustedes y también si quieres hablamos más de esto otro tiempo. Pero es un tremendo programa y no estoy vendiendo, solamente estoy diciendo la promesa y las buenas cosas que pasan con este programa. Lo he visto yo. No sé más cómo explicarlo. Yo tengo niñas, como te dije, y yo puedo aplicar en lo que estoy enseñando como maestro a ellas también. Y estamos informando a la comunidad católica y otros cristianos o otras personas de diferentes creencias. So, ponete en mente que tenemos bastante recursos e información aquí que estamos trabajando. Tina, one thing I want to say right quick is we did something called the Multimedia Art Campaign last year and a little bit this year. And you can go and check a lot of the work that the kids did. They did a mural. This right here is an actual mural that the kids did that was about, I don't know how big it was, but it's big enough to fit in the trunk of a U-Haul. It's huge.
Nice. Very nice.
And you could also check out the Photo Voice project that we did with basically I wouldn't say point and shoot. The wind-up cameras that are so cheap, that are old school.
Yeah.
kids did use those and took some pictures and told stories about how the epidemic has affected their mental health and how to best relay a message to people in their community. So look at this information, and go. What were you going to say, Tina? I'm sorry, I talked too much.
I was just gonna say, it's just, I work a lot. I don't know if you've ever heard of augmented reality, but it's a three-dimensional addition to physical art.
Mhm.
And what you could, like in my artwork, if you download a particular app, you
Mhm.
get a three-dimensional interpretation of my artwork. But
Okay.
you can actually put any kind of video in front of the artwork. And now that I'm seeing this, the voice of the kids,
Mhm.
I mean, I think that could be done with the artwork, like this mural, just to give you an idea. If you got this mural and we did videos of voices of the kids, we could actually put that on the artwork. And if folks download the app, they
Mhm.
could say to each letter, and each letter would download a video they can listen to in real time.
Wow.
Yes, so no, those are ideas. I mean, I'm pretty cutting edge, so it's ideas.
Yeah, you sound pretty cutting
Throwing-
edge.
Throwing out their ideas, and I also think that raising awareness through NFTs could be a big possibility. There are there's a lot of support in the NFT world for stuff like this. So I think we need to have a conversation and talk some ideas through.
For sure. Yeah. I would love the idea, but I'd like to continue this conversation afterwards, but I don't want to definitely thank you so much for talking about the art that you do and how we could definitely do something more with, educating families about the dangers of and the prevention of opioids and other things.
Giving hope at the same time, right? Because it's so easy to fall into a deep, dark hole with no
Right.
light in sight. So for me, it's really important to really shine a light on that hope. You can get out of the hole. Anyone can get out of the hole, but you need to have some tools to get there.
Okay. Definitely. Well, thank you all. Listen, I think there's information being put on there for people to put their to contact folks. Definitely. Thank you for that. I wanted to basically wrap this up with just an announcement about tomorrow. I'm not sure if Carson, do you have a copy of the actual flyer to post while I talk about it? If not, I can just go on a whim and do it freestyle. It's whatever, como salga. Okay. And definitely don't forget to check out Promoja.com, where Kevin Thomas does a lot of his diversity, equity, and inclusion. Like I said, since I work with him, I know his caliber. I read a lot of his poems, I know, but just check it out. I think if your agency, company, or somebody who's their organization needs to get more involved with diversity, equity, and inclusion and applying it to their business, he's already signed up some good folks there for, I think, I forgot the NC. Kevin, refresh my memory. Who are the sports folks that you used to work for?
The National Junior College Athletic Association.
Right. And Anuvia, right? Your work in Anuvia. So
PromojaEBI.com.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. Definitely check out Kevin Thomas's website. He's going to be present tomorrow to hand out free copies of his book to the Latino folks at the events. And we thank you, Kevin, for that. Not sure if Tina or anybody else can make it, but the event tomorrow starts at 10 o'clock, 10 to 4. Okay. It will be in person, not virtual. We're trying to get families to register. If you need the flyer, we can send it to you to blast it out on social media. We want families to show up because there's going to be a lot that they're going to learn there. There's a list of, if you go to PRISM's website, there is a listing of all of the speakers and how long they're going to speak and what they're going to talk about. And it will be in English and Spanish. And la información que van a ver mañana va a ser en español, pero también en inglés, pero es para la comunidad latina, especialmente. Porque nuestra comunidad necesita el apoyo y educación, la prevención que vamos a estar ofreciendo. So, por favor, mañana, el sábado, de 10 a 4 de la tarde, es gratis, pueden entrar, si pueden registrar, las buenas cosas que van a recibir son estas. Número 1, van a recibir una foto familiar gratis. Y si a ustedes les gustan el trabajo de mi estudiante, que era mi estudiante en el pasado, que ahora es profesional, ella va a estar ahí presente. Y yo, anyway, no es para decir, estoy muy orgulloso que uno de mis estudiantes siguió una carrera en fotografía. So she's going to be there taking pictures. Her name is Jessica. She's going to take pictures of the family. There's going to be also, what do you call those, professional headshots for people who want something for their resume. You know, that's going to look good too. You only get one, not several, one free digital. And of course, we're going to have Healthy Blue giving out some great things. Opt out, sorry. Community Carolina Care Partnership. We're going to have frozen cups there. Alianza is going to be there, Center for Prevention Services, a bunch of different organizations. We're going to have food, music, live DJ. It's going to be a great event. This is the first time we've ever done it. This is Hispanic Heritage Month. Es un evento para la familia. Si pueden venir, por favor, les invito. Además, si quieren ver, pueden traer amigos, o si pueden registrarse. Voy a apagar mi cámara, que es de blur. Si ven, esto es un QR code. Si toman foto del QR code, que pueden poner Carson ahí pronto, if you could put one of those QR codes there, you could go to the website and registrarse para la fotografía de familia. Okay, so es, como te dije, muchas cosas gratis van a estar invertido a las familias, mucha educación, muchos presentadores que vienen de diferentes agencias que van a beneficiar para educar a la comunidad, no solamente de drogas, pero de todo. Okay, tenemos Healthy Blue, my contact information. Okay, I'll put that in there in a minute. But si hay algo más, I'm gonna let Marilyn and her team take over with showing the flyer, adding any additional comments. It's 7:29, it's almost 7:30. But le doy muchas gracias de parte mía y de parte de PRISM y todo lo que está invitado, Germán. So I'll give it back to our boss. Take it away.
Not really the boss. But anyway, thank you, Ricardo. You did remarkable. And thank you, everyone, for being there. PRISMteam.org. That's PRISM team, TEAM.org is where you'll find everything for tomorrow, who's going to be there, and all of the highlights. And we look forward to seeing you there. If you need anything at all, please write us at info@prismteam.org. I'm Marilyn Shannon, Marilyn at MarilynShannon.com. Also, I'm always happy to hear from everyone. If you have any comments, please share them with us. Please come tomorrow. If you're in an area and you're not in Charlotte, Mecklenburg, but you're somewhere in North Carolina or in the country, and you are interested in doing some events and learning experiences in your home, please let us know. Reach out to me anytime. We'd love to come there and help educate everyone that's breathing. That is our mission. So thank you all so very much. Thank you everyone in here for being here, and everyone out on YouTube. And we will see you tomorrow morning, bright and early. Registrations at 9 o'clock. If you haven't registered yet, please come then. We have the gift bags, as Ricardo said, and we look forward to seeing you. So thank you so much. Have a good night.